Hello my friends, and welcome to this update video. It's been a while since I've done one because I had been so busy with other things that been needing my attention. But it's about time I lay one down for you guys because this week and the one following that are gonna be pretty busy. So as you can tell, if you have followed up on my channel, South Park: The Fractured Butthole is done. As I have put this up like a couple weeks in advance, and on top of that, I'm still working on projects like Ease 10 Nordics, Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, and even Super Robot Tyson Double. I've also been working on some 2025 projects, such as WrestleQuest and SRWV, which is the 25th anniversary game, as well as I'm, as we speak, getting more games as you've seen in previous videos that show that I am going to showcase perhaps in the next couple of months from now. Now currently what I did was I got a bit of Yakuza 5 already waiting in the wings for, say, next month. So we're talking about December the 2nd. We're going to see some Yakuza 5 madness going on, and I'm going to get back to that in quite a bit. The thing about SRW Double is that I looked up the flow chart of how many missions there are. So in the first half is 1 through 27. That's quote unquote season 1. 28 and up to 52, I believe. 52, 55, I am not certain, but in the 50s, I believe it's 52. There are two versions. One is, both are playthroughs, but since we're not going to do like a double playthrough of it, and I'm playing on emulation, I will be doing the A and B, but I will not be playing twice just to show the different playthrough missions of the second time. Just the A and B sides of certain missions. So following episode 26 or chapter 26, 27 will be the final episode of season 1 of Double. And the way I'm doing it is just that. It's basically the flow chart that I'm looking at tells me exactly the arcs or chapters of each and every game. So I'd like to say around the time that December is coming in, we should be done with season 1. And then in between everything else, I'll be working on season 2 of Double. Now, I also have on hand a couple of other games like Three Kingdoms Next, River City Girls 2, and I think I have another one that I got downloading as we speak called TMNT Splintered Fate, and all the other SRW games that I got running, as well as Metal Slug Tactics. I got those running, and I had to work around how to do tactics for Metal Slug Tactics because I couldn't normally do it by normal means. So for that, I'm just going to do screen capture. It usually saves me the trouble of wanting to, get the right kind of screen I want when I usually do Let's Plays like that. So it's usually the case that, I have to figure out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. So there you go. As far as anything else is concerned, life-wise, well, I'm still dealing with it. I still got 6 months. Well, I shouldn't say 6 months. 6 months. Oof. 6 weeks. We still got 6 weeks left of this year to go. And who knows who will be dropping next. I'm telling you, 2024 has been like striking people down like it was Sword of Vermilion or something like that. And it's either because, either natural causes or, or heaven forbid, disease got him. Who's to say? I mean, it is what it is. It's life. But still, it's like, it gets tiresome hearing about it almost every week that somebody passed away. Also, being that it is nearly winter, especially here in California, oh, I'm bundling up as best I can. So while I'm doing these LPs, I'm actually bundling up while I'm doing these Let's Plays. So that means there's going to be hot chocolate or maybe some spiced cider in the mix while I'm doing all this. And at the same time, well, being that what I do off camera would be being in the choir. Yeah, I gotta keep my voice rather wet. And singing during this time of year, ooh, I really don't want to push my voice as much as I have been pushing my voice all year long. But that doesn't mean I won't stop trying to do what I'm trying to do. I mean, it's still me versus the system after all. So it's not like I hadn't been trying, Moving on, back to the LP circuit, as we like to call it. I want to say I have something prepared for, say February, but as far as I know of, I only have plans to do something doable for the first 3 months. I might consider doing a replay of the original Lunar duology, which is the Silver Star and Eternal Blue, the Sega CD version, unpatched, of course, in preparation for the quote-unquote remastered version of the Lunar series. Now, I'm not gonna get that version because it's a series that just needs to be experienced by a newer generation and not just the older generation. Plus, from what I've seen, it's technically the PS1 version, and not like the Sega CD version and the PS1 versions alone. It's just, together. All it is just the Sega CD it's just basically the PS1 version. I kind of wish it was the Sega CD version as well as the PS1 version, because they were the only. Just to say, you have the originals and you have the remaster version. And what's funny is they're bringing back the old cast, save for a few people who may or may not be around. Most likely may not be around for obvious reasons. But who's to say? For the most part, though, like I said, I do have the unpatched version of both games, and I'll be doing the Sega CD versions of both games, because that's how it all started for me in RPGs. So it's only right I come back to the very first RPG that ever touched my life, and on top of that, changed my life, all for the better. So for me, it's something when you play a game and you feel some sort of accomplishment after you've beaten the game, but it's more to it when you come back to the very first game that you not only played, but you felt a sort of kinship towards it. That's how I feel about Ys. Ys is like that. It's not because it's anime. No. It's more like me being a bookworm. It just it kind of brings out the inner bookworm in me. It's like, I like to read. I like to enjoy the story. I like to share the fact that I enjoy the story, and you should enjoy the journey with me. That sort of thing. I do enjoy a good book, and that's how Ys Nordics has been for me. And that's why I say it's my game of the year for that one reason. It's not because it's Ys. That much is we know it's Ys. I said, but you don't know that there's a reason behind. I said, this is my game of the year. I said, it's basically just that. It's not because of the name. It's because of what it represents for me personally. I can say the same thing for Lunar. It's something that represents me personally. It plays and tugs at a certain part of my heart that, basically I never felt it happen to me before. And it's like, that's the first time. And for me to go back to something like that and just say, you know what, one more time, just one more time, let me rediscover the magic that is this game. So what have I been doing during all this time? Well, let's see. In between all this and getting the first bits of 2025 going, and most likely ending this year's LPs, well, I've been working on some poetry. And it has not been easy because technically during that time, wow. Never thought I'd say it was difficult. Just it's like I can get out some things with not a problem, but sometimes it's not easy for me to actually get something good going without me just like I need to fight. I need to write a few bars out. I need to see what I saw in my dream sequence, or what did I see while I was sleeping. You know, I gotta deep dive into myself. Just say, oh, what was that I was looking at? Oh, ooh, okay. And then just to put it down to paper. So, my latest endeavor that I'm currently doing is, I'll have it ready before the time that's needed, but the challenge in itself is basically getting it down to paper, and the only thing I have down as far as that's concerned is the title of it. And I probably will make a video of it, me just, presenting it in video format. But as for what I'm doing right now, trying to basically word it out the way I would like to see it worded out in my own words, it's taken me a while to do. So it's not like it's a problem. No, for something like this, and around that season between Thanksgiving and Christmas, yeah, it desires a lot of thought. So, you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with that. Part of me, part of me is a voice actor, and the other part of me is a bookworm. And most times, I'm looking for something that just like, okay, I'm skimming through something in my books, and sometimes, sometimes I look online and just say, well, I'm looking for something to, come out and hit me. And even if it's a title, it's like, there we go. Now we got something, Takes a while for the gears to turn, but they eventually do turn. They eventually do spin. And when it spins, watch out. So therefore, it is what it is. So aside from that, I know when I put this up, it will most likely be Sunday. So when you see this, it'll be the Sunday before Thanksgiving. What I have after that, I'm pretty much going to finish up Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, because there's not any more of the game left, and I am not going to do the puzzles afterwards. I'm just going to finish the last bits of the game, which is the final trial, and beyond that, which is I think 2 more. I'm not sure if it has the DLC, but I think it has something afterward, but I'll see when I get to it. I do have the walkthrough up as we speak, so when I do it, it's just going to be like, oh, okay. Because if you follow what I do, well, yeah, they do be like that. Another thing is, Ryu sent me the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, so that means the Naruhodo Chronicles, the Naruhodo Ryunosuke Chronicles. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the second game, because I already did the first game. I already did the first game via stream, so the second game is the one I also have in emulated form and it's fan translated versus what Capcom did. So I will possibly do the Capcom version. I mean, I've already seen it, like, oh, that's how it's going to look. That's how it's going to be. Let's go with that. And I'm pretty sure, the voice acting is top notch. So that's like one less thing I have to do when I start it up. And of course, I think that's going to be a 2025 LP as well. Where I'm going to fit that, however, I'll figure it out. I mean, usually when I do something ahead of schedule, it's more on the where I should put it more than the when. So when I put it up, I can only say, oh, I'll have this up by, say, before the first part of next year's up, or maybe during the second cycle of next year, that sort of thing. But for the long run and for what it's worth, I'm going to enjoy it nonetheless, though. So I hope you guys enjoy it as well. As for whatever else I got going, well, like I said, I got plenty of the SRW games. I got V, Cross, and 30. Sadly, they don't have T to be downloaded, but that's okay. T was okay, but, it didn't finish strong, I mean, it was okay. They had a great setup of characters, but as far as how the finale was, it wasn't as good as, say, what I'm doing now in post-production, which is V, or or W, or even Cross. And Cross was basically more of an isekai tale than anything else. So I was like, well, it's isekai. What else do I need to tell you? But it's isekai. And I most likely will have a rundown of who is all in the cast as far as that's concerned. That's what I did with V. And I'll most likely have to redo up a better version of 30, because 30 has a decent enough cast, but I don't think I have the DLCs for both of them. I wouldn't know. I mean, I already know V doesn't have the DLC on. Because, reminder, this version of V is basically region locked. And it was on Steam. And it did have DLC, but I don't think the DLC actually exists anymore. So, I think the same thing goes with Cross. As well as 30. I mean, if they do, it do, but let's not worry about that. That's not really important. But in any case, I wish each and every one of you a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving, as well as a warm and wonderful Christmas season, as well as a very blessed New Year. So next time I do see ya, hopefully, I pray we're all a year older and better than we were than this year. We can only pray. With that said, God bless, and I'll see you next time. I have been the Tenkaichi, and I always will be the Tenkaichi. Daitenso, Tenkaimuso. See you next time.